What's up? Good morning. Almost afternoon here in Alabama. Decided to shoot on the bright side of things today. It is your boy, Trey Sense. You guessed it. Listen, we got a little bit of a review, a little bit of a discussion. You know how we do it here on the channel. Before we get into that, I need something from you. I need you to like this video. I need you to share this video. And I need you to sub to the channel if it's not asking too much. And continue to check in and let me know where you're watching from. What we're going to talk about today, we can call this video one or two things. We can call it my cheapie Hall of Fame. We can call it a great place to start an inexpensive fragrance collection. But I think we're going to lean more towards cheapie Hall of Fame. Now, this is based on what's in my collection. This is based on what I like. This is based on my thoughts. And these are based on fragrances that you can pick up for under $40. Let's go. The first one on the list, I want to get this one out of the way first, as it is a beautiful fragrance, but I'm not sure where this fragrance stands right now. At one time, it was a cheapie. I think it may have been discontinued. And if it is, I'm sorry, but when I got it, it was a cheapie. And it's from the house of Dunhill. And it is Dunhill Man. And this is a beautiful date night fragrance. It'll remind you similarities of YSL's Lanui de L'Homme, something along those lines. A lot of cardamom, really, really sweet, really seductive, masculine, a little bit smoky, great date night fragrance. But at one time you could pick this up for 19 or 20 bucks, just like you could every other Dunhill fragrance, with the exception of the ones, what was it, the Icon Racing line? Those were a little bit more expensive. But the rest of the Dunhill fragrances were dirt cheap. And at one time, this one was too. And it is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. I don't know if it's been discontinued. All I know is when I went to check the price on Fragrance Net, it wasn't there. And then I put it in my Google search and not a lot came up. The one bottle that did come up was $149. Now, would I pay that for it? Absolutely not. Definitely not worth that. But it is really, 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 really a good fragrance. And if you can pick it up on the cheap end of things, maybe somebody's got it in a group and wanting to sell it, wanting to get rid of it. If you want to pick it up for, again, around the $25, $30 mark, maybe even 40 bucks, I think it's a great add to your collection. And it is definitely in my cheapie Hall of Fame. Why? Because it is one of the better inexpensive fragrances that you could have purchased at one time. So that's why it's on this list. That's why it's in here. From the house of Dunhill, it is Dunhill Man. This next one blew me away when I smelled it, and you'll see the levels on it to tell you how much I've used it in the couple of years that I've had it. And it's from the house of Chards, and it is Chards Reflesso. And you see the levels, and you know my collection. And you know how many fragrances I have in my collection. And you see where the levels are on this bad boy. So that should tell you exactly what I think about this inexpensive fragrance right here. Again, you know I like my sweet, dark, masculine, playful scents. And that's exactly what this is. A little bit fruity, sweet. Again, it's going to remind you of something from the house of YSL. It's going to fall into that Lanui de L'Homme, that L'Homme category. It's going to fall right in line with those fragrances. But for the $25 or $30 that you can pay for this, man, I personally think it is a gem, and I think it is definitely deserving of a spot in the cheapie Hall of Fame. And another thing I'm basing this on is, if I should empty a bottle of this, would I replace it? Would I replace it? If I should see a bottle of this at a very good price, like say I run into TJ Maxx and it's there for, $25 in the bargain bin or $15 in the bargain bin, would I pick it up knowing I had a bottle? Yes, that's the criteria. Price. And would I grab it if I saw it at a good price? That, is the criteria to this video. Again, another one that is a date night style of a fragrance. I remember being in Texas with Manuel and JP and letting them smell this. And of course they were like, you know, blown away by the scent profile. They were like, man, that smells good. And for it to be a cheap fragrance, it smells really good and does exactly what it's supposed to do. So from the house of Chards, it is Reflesso. This next one I haven't had very long. It hasn't been out all that long. It's made several of my videos since I had it. I love it. It's from the house of Latafa, and it is Kamra Kawa. I paid $34 for this fragrance, and it is amongst one of the best performing, best smelling, best made fragrances in my entire collection, bar none. So if I saw this for $22 at TJ Maxx or Burlington or, you know, red stickered, wherever, would I pick it up and bring it home? Absolutely. Fruity, sweet, coffee. Now the difference in this one and the original Kamra is the coffee note. The coffee note. They're both good. I think this one performs better. I think this one just stands up a little bit better, and that coffee note just makes all the difference in the world to me. But I have the original, and it's probably going to be a gift to somebody eventually. It's in my collection, still in the box, everything. I bought it, but it was too good to take back, so it's just basically just sitting in my collection. So, but for $34, you cannot beat this fragrance. And this one is a conversation starter, a head turner. It does everything that you want a fragrance that you would reach for in the late fall, winter, early spring. Does everything that you would want it to do. So from the house of Latafa, it is Kamra Kawa. They did a really good job with this fragrance. I think Latafa did everything right with this fragrance, from presentation to scent profile, everything. I have zero complaints about this fragrance. It is really good. And if I had 2 backup bottles of that, it would be perfectly fine, because eventually it's going to be hard to get your hands on. Eventually. Now, I may be too old to care by the time that happens, and I hope that's the case, but still. Another one that I was blown away by the scent profile of, and I'm always asked this. Okay, there it is. From the house of Rochas, or Rochas, it is Mustache, and this is the EDP. And this is another one that you can pick up for around the $30, $40 mark. And if you see it at TJ Maxx or someplace like that, it's going to be even cheaper. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Many compare this to YSL Tuxedo. I would have to agree, and some people are going to get in the comments and get all bent out of shape and say, no, it doesn't. Well, all of this is subjective, and the key word is opinion. Nobody's opinion can be wrong. Some people's opinion can be absurd, some can be outlandish, but wrong is not something that a person's opinion can be. This is the way it is. So, in my opinion, is this close to YSL's Tuxedo? Yes. Will it do in place of it? Yes. Now, by all means, if you got Bulgari Tiger, YSL Tuxedo money, do you, brother. Go get it. Go get you as many bottles of it as you want. Do what you want. Live how you want. There's less traffic in my lane, and that's the lane I stay in. And in my lane, this is a nice addition to my collection, and it is a nice rendition of that scent profile. Does it smell good? Yes. Does it smell dressy and classy? Yes. Yes and yes. Now, if I wanted Bulgari Tiger or YSL Tuxedo, could I go buy them? Yes, I could. But I really don't see the point in it. So, notification popped up on my screen, and the way it did it was funny, as it came in from the side. I was just like, what's going on over there? That's what I was looking at. What's going on over there? And it was a notification. But anyway, I definitely like this fragrance, and it's definitely one I think that you should pick up and add to your collection, especially we're fixing to be in February, and if you live in the Southeast like I do, you know, about mid-February, we're still gonna have some cold days, but we're probably gonna have some days where the temperature gets up to 65, 66, 67 degrees in the daytime. You know, nighttime will still be cold, but the daytime temperatures are fixed. As a matter of fact, today it's gonna be 60 degrees, 60, 61 degrees here. So we'll have days like that in the upcoming spring months. So yeah, that's one that you can grab and get your hands on if you haven't already. Another one that I think is Hall of Fame worthy, because if I see this, and they have a newer version of it, they have a parfum version out. This is the EDP from the house of Calvin Klein. It is Defy. I'm trying to see where the levels are on it. Levels are about right here. Levels are about right there. So that says you I've worn it quite a few times. I paid $30 for this on clearance. And for that price, I think it's a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. Wonderful fragrance. Again, it reminds me of something that Tom Ford would make. It's rich, it's leathery, it's deep, great for the late fall, winter, you know, maybe early spring. I wouldn't necessarily reach for this on a summer's day. You could, especially if you're going to be in an office setting or an enclosed environment, a climate control type of setting. Definitely think you could reach for it, get away with it. It would be just fine. But I've never worn this fragrance and not gotten a compliment. And that's for this one or the EDT. Again, I'm fixing to be on the lookout for the parfum, because if the EDT is that good and the EDP is that good, I'm curious to see what the parfum is like. But I've never worn this fragrance and not gotten a compliment. I mean, and that's from young people, old people, men and women. And everything performs differently on everybody because our body chemistries are different, but it's a winner. For the $30 price point, it is a winner. From the house of Calvin Klein, it is Defy. This one right here is no secret to anybody. Everybody knows about this fragrance. Some of you love it, some of you hate it, but it's from the house of Lattafa as well. And it is Assad or Assad, depending on how you pronounce it. And to me, this is a better version of Dior Sauvage Elixir. And that's gonna be a sore topic, because people are gonna say performance, people are gonna say strength, people are gonna say, I get it, I get it. This stuff right here on me is beastly. This stuff right here performs ridiculously on me. Now, I did not like the, what was it, Assad Zanzibar, the blue one. I just thought it was just too feminine. I gave that away to a female friend of mine. I prefer this over the original Dior Sauvage Elixir. In my opinion, it's just my opinion, it's more wearable and it's a lot cheaper, and I get a lot more juice. I could buy a lifetime supply of this for what I could pay for one bottle of Dior Sauvage Elixir. To some people that may not matter. To me, it does. Yes, I can buy what I want, but I still am price conscious when it comes to certain things. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it just hits me and I'm just like, you know what, I want that. You know, I'm gonna get it. And then sometimes I'm just like, I don't gotta have that one. It's too similar to this and I can get this for this, so no point. That's just how I roll. And in this case, this is a perfect example of it. When I got this, I was completely satisfied and have absolutely no need for Dior Sauvage Elixir. Now, with that being said, there may come a time when I run across a bottle on clearance, or somebody's like, hey Trey, I'll trade you this Dior Sauvage Elixir for now my battery's getting low. That's something that hadn't happened in a long time. I'll trade you this bottle of Dior Sauvage Elixir for that watch you got up there. Probably not gonna happen, but I'm just saying anything could happen. So, but this one right here, man, I really like. I really like it. I think it's just a tad bit fresher than the original Dior Sauvage Elixir and just more wearable. And I like it. I like it a lot. So from the house of Lattafa, again, it is Assad. This next one is a cheapie, and it's another clone. And it is Silver Water and Birch from the house of Cremo. And it is a clone of Silver Mountain Water. And will it do? Yes. Yes, I have a couple versions of that. I'm probably gonna end up gifting this one as well because it is a great, fresh fragrance to wear in the summertime. So I'm probably gonna end up gifting this one because I have, from Lady in Red, I have their version of Silver Mountain Water, and when I tell you that sucker right there is spot on, it's spot on. And then I have the one from Armauve that's in the same bottle as Club de Nuit Man Intense. I may gift that one and keep this one. That's probably what I'll do. I'll probably keep this one and gift that one. Either way, but for the price point that you could have picked this up, if you found this at TJ Maxx, you paid $12, $14. And you can't beat that. For 100 ml fragrance, personally, I love the presentation. If I were to start my own fragrance company, my bottles would either be like this one or the Banana Republic, what are they called? Icon? The little square ones with just a plain little sticker on the front. Great atomizer. Only thing I would do different with them is this cap doesn't work. And I like the Banana Republic cap, so I would probably make it magnetized, and that's it. Simplistic, easy. I love the coffin style box, all of that. Just keep it simple but classy. Kind of like a nice t-shirt, blue jeans, and Chuck Taylors, and it never goes out of style. Or a nice pair of blue jeans, a t-shirt, and a clean pair of sneakers. They've been wearing it for 60 years, and they'll be wearing it 60 years from now because it works. Same thing with the bottle design. If it works, classic never goes out of style. So fragrances like this, I really enjoy. In bottles like this, I really enjoy. I don't really get too deep in the presentation, but if it's a good presentation, I enjoy it. Now, again, what does this smell like? Aquatic, metallic is what you're gonna get. A fresh, aquatic, metallic fragrance. Best to me worn in the spring, summer, fall, warmer weather. Now, it's got enough oomph that I think you could wear it any time of the year that you saw fit. But I like it in the spring. I like it in the summer, and I like it in those fall days where the temperature's winding down and it's getting, to be about 72, 73, 74 degrees for the high, but the low is only around 50 those days, where it's not a whole lot of variation in the temperature. So from the house of Cremo, it is Silver Water and Birch. I like it. Now this next one, oh boy, made you hungry. Made you hungry. From the house of Michael Jordan, it is Michael Jordan Legend. It's Michael Jordan Legend. For all of us guys who started out, and here's the thing that I want everybody to realize. I want everybody to stop for just a second and keep this in mind and keep this in consideration. There are a lot of reviewers out here now who have started their own fragrance line, and they have tons of fragrance in their fragrance line. And I'm happy for those guys because they're living their dream in the lane that they want to be in. I remember when those reviewers reviewed fragrances like this. And if you search their channels hard enough, you can find them talking about Michael Jordan Legend. You can find them talking about Cuba Royal, Cuba Gold, Cuba Prestige. Because at one time, FragCom wasn't about the most expensive fragrance wins. That's not what this used to be. It had, just like everything else, we all evolved. Myself, my nose has evolved. Fragrances that I used to like and used to wear, I don't wear as much anymore because I've gotten my hands on better quality fragrances. And there's nothing wrong with evolution, there's nothing wrong with evolving. But you still have to remember where you came from and where you cut your teeth. And at one time, even guys that you would say were big time reviewers, man, my phone ringing again. Even guys that you would say were big time reviewers reviewed fragrances like this. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And what is this? It's Michael Jordan's Legend. What is it? Bond number 9, New Harlem. This was a clone of. Very, very sweet. Would I buy this again? I ain't sprayed this in so long, it won't spray. Would I buy this again? Absolutely. May even wear this to work tonight. Pair this with some JB Butters, and I think it's gonna be just fine. Absolutely. It still smells good. A lot of the Michael Jordan fragrances smell good. They were all just overshadowed by this one. There were several of them that smell good. That whole, what was it, Flight? The red one and the black one was Flight, and then Night Flight maybe? I can't remember, but those smell good. There's some popping up now at the rack stores. They're not, the bottle is hideous and the design is hideous, but the juice inside of them were good. I think the colors on them were red, blue, and green. I remember having them. I think it was Energy, Drive, maybe Power. The red one was spicy, the blue one was fresh, the green one was really, really good and sweet. They were good fragrances, especially for the $7 to $9 that you paid for them. I wore them. I eventually gave them away, but when I gave them away, the truth of the matter is the bottles were almost empty. Those bottles were over 50% used. So, I mean, it's not like I'm just sitting here giving you lip service. I'm just telling you. It doesn't have to be expensive to smell good. And yeah, and the compliments that I got on some of those fragrances was through the roof. But Michael Jordan Legend is definitely one that I would love to add to my, keep in my collection. All right. One I have not had very long at all. And Lattafa is showing up and showing out, man. And Ram Silver. Bought this on vacation in the Biloxi area out of Burlington. I may have been in D'Abotville, may have been in Gulfport. I don't remember. I don't remember where it's at. I know it's down there. And this is a clone of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultramar. Excuse me. If I didn't already have Ultramar, and if I didn't get Ultramar from a very good friend of mine as a gift, I would probably sell it because I do not need it. That they are this close. They're that close. And this is $16 fragrance and a 100 ml bottle. Let that sink in. 100, as we say, as my Uncle Charles used to say. I had an uncle, rest in peace, Uncle Charles. Grew up in Columbus, Mississippi. Married my mom's older sister, Aunt Teeny. And then they moved, like everybody else did, got out of the South. They moved to Flint, Michigan. Uncle Charles would come down. I'd be like, Uncle Charles, how you doing? I'm doing 100. 100. He never lost a Mississippi accent all them years he was in Flint. He said he was doing 100. Let that sink in. If you buy this right here for $16, you're gonna be doing 100 as well. Not 100, 100. That's how we talk down here. But I knew exactly what he meant when he said he was doing 100. It meant he was doing fantastic. Uncle Charles was a funny dude. But anyway, this fragrance right here is absolutely beautiful. Now I'm trying to figure out what the pest control man doing. I'm just trying to shoot a video, help y'all smell good. And it's busy over here in Trey Sense Land. All right, let me see if I can get this next one in before he come to the door. Last but not least, you better pick this one up before the prices start to go up. They must have made a lot of these because the demand is not really that great and the price hasn't gone up. From the House of Calvin Klein again, it is CK Shock. I wore this to work one time. I left early that day because I was sick. And I'm gonna tell you, I got so many compliments on this fragrance and I'm sitting there just blown away. One lady that I worked with, one of my coworkers, kept smelling me and she kept guessing. And some of the fragrances that she was calling off, I'm trying to figure out why the hell you think I would be wearing that to work at a grocery store? One of the first ones she said, is that Baccarat Rouge? And I was just like, no, it's not. What do you know about Baccarat Rouge and why would I be wearing it to work? She said, well, I got a bottle. A friend of mine bought it for me. And I'm just thinking, these people out here just spending astronomical amounts of money on fragrances. I never did tell her what it was, but this is the introduction introductory level fragrance to tobacco. It's a fizzy tobacco, and at first I didn't like it. That's why this bottle is almost full. But this I bought at Burke's before they changed the bells. They knew me in there, liked me in there. It didn't have a price tag on it, and I ended up getting that for about $10. So with that being said, I cannot complain, but it is a Hall of Fame fragrance. If I saw another one for $9 or $10, would I get it? Absolutely. It's just a great fragrance, especially if you're trying to get into entry-level tobacco. It's not overly tobacco. It's not the reinvention of the wheel. It's not the most authentic smelling fragrance, but it just works. So from the house of Calvin Klein, it is CK1 Shock. Anyway, I got to wrap this up because I got to go let the bug man in as he's knocking on the door. So thank you all for tuning in. And for being the best part of this channel and this video. I love you all, and may God bless you all. Till next time, guys. Peace.